Hi, this is Shane with the Rational Trader. It is Wednesday, January 9th, and I had a small loss day here. So actually a max loss in oil, so minus 14 ticks. I haven't seen that in a while, I think. We'll look at that exactly in a moment. Plus 5 in the euro, keeping in mind that the dollar value of euro ticks is less than oil, so it doesn't make up for it quite as much as you'd like. Minus 2 in gold. I got nicked in gold too. This is a little frustrating here. Right there. So I get that's a pretty aggressive entry, and then I get tagged my 7 tick stop. Now the members that are using sort of a more normal 1 tick limit entry offset did not get stopped out there, so they made a little bit there. And then I get short here, and make 5 ticks. So it ends up down 2 ticks on the day. Nothing in the yen. I don't think there were even any signals. Yeah, no trades in the yen. But there was nice movement there. Oh, that's interesting. So it starts here at this blue line. Let's see. Yeah, so we spent here. Yeah, we spent a lot of time above the value area high, which is right there. The system's looking there, but doesn't see anything yet. And then we're off and away, and so we have to get near a low volume node before we'll do anything, particularly as we're breaking high. So we need to see that pullback. Interestingly enough, just kind of the way it works out, that this low volume node here doesn't form until that bar, and now you're too far away, and then we don't pull back enough. So that's why there's no signals there. That's why there's no orange bars there. This is not looking. So we're not getting close enough to that low volume node. Here we do. Though, at this point, we're so far above the value area high that we start looking at the waves to see if we should restrict going in a direction. And this very much looks like there's a ceiling here. So that's why the background is blue. You won't take longs in here until until that bar. So you either break out or you pull back deeply enough. So even if it found a signal here on these orange bars, the system wouldn't go long there. It would go short, but not long. We finally come back down into here. This is exactly, if you look at this is exactly the right place to be looking. Clearly we've got it correct. Though actually, when you look at this, kind of the way that the market advanced, there was a low volume node there, and then another one there. There's almost too many. Another one there, and so I'm glad we're being selective here. Otherwise, you can end up getting chopped to pieces, and we want to avoid that. I see signals down in here though, so that's good. A lot of movement in this market today. Bummer. The little blue dot means that we're outside there is a action code there, but we're outside the time frame. We stopped trading this at 10:40, which is right in here. So the normal stop time is about right there. In this particular case, we had FOMC minutes released at 11, so everything was stopping in advance, even the oil market, which normally trades to 11:20. In fact, let's change that back while we are thinking about it, so we don't need to stop early because of the FOMC minutes being released. So that's done. We talked about gold, nothing in Europe, and then what was euro? Euro was a short that caught just a little piece here, so we get short off that signal. It's the same problem. You get a strong breakout, and then we won't do anything unless we're at the edge or at a low volume node, and so the market's got to pull back before we'll do anything. So it pulls back here. You can see it's the right place. We're going short though, not long, and the market's going to grind higher here. So we make 5 ticks there, and then stay out of trouble. This here is really tough to trade, so I'm happy to see nothing happening there. This looks good to me. Actually, after that break in particular, that looks good to start. You should start looking. So that's right there. I like that. You can see what's happening here is this other support here is where the market is thrashing around a bit, trying to figure out what it's going to do. And then, of course, here, it's the same things we saw earlier. Pull back to the value area high, start looking for something to do. It's exactly the right place to be looking. And then we're out. We're past the time that we trade. We stop at 1040 in this market. All right. So today, down 128. I called it 130. I think in the title probably. Let's see. Trade activity log. Yeah, minus 128. So we get, really what I wanted to talk about last night was by trading multiple markets, you can smooth out the bumps. I think I spent more time on discussing the analytical process change that's being tested here in January. But last night was actually a really good example of, some markets are down, others are up, so you end up scratch instead of taking a loss. Today we make up a little bit of it because of there's a small gain in the euro, but not too much. So that's still, if you look at this, since we started this is on the bigger end of the losses here. The biggest one was minus 210. This is minus 128. I don't recall seeing a max loss in oil in a while. So let's take a look at that and see if that's true or not. So only CLG9. Okay, so the day after Christmas, kind of a series of losses here during these holiday weeks. And then I'm going to have to go back to the F9 to see before then. They're kind of spread out. So 160, that's a max loss with some slippage. 140 every, what is that? Like once a week, I guess, about that. That's 20% the time. I think the analysis shows on the order of 25%. So that's about right. These holiday weeks can be tough can kind of mess things up a little bit, but in any case, total gain now is down a little bit. Whoops, here, down at 1927. So we'll see what the next 2 days bring to see what our weekly result is. And that's really sort of it for today. One thing that came up in the room this morning, one of the members pointed out what are the options for limiting the number of contracts traded per security and then per account. And that's really not something I thought about. That's really important, actually. So I'll contact the broker and kind of get that clarified. I know that I have a max contract set per security, but I don't know that I have that set per account, and I'm not even sure if that's an option. So I'd like to get that figured out. In other words, if I allow, say 2 contracts or 3 contracts per security, but it just so happens that I end up taking trades in 3 markets all at once, that's, depending upon your limit per security, that's 6 or 9 contracts. It might be more than you're willing to do, or you should be doing, just in terms of your risk management. So we got to get that clarified, and then make some decisions on how to, or rather, formulate how to make the decision on what your account level max contracts are, assuming that we have that level of granularity. Anyway, I'll get back to you tomorrow or the day after I talk to the broker. That is it for today. Take care.